Hello there, folks. Sunny but cold autumn day today. So I thought it was a good idea to do a vinyl and CD update, so it won't risk being too long. I have found a pretty good stack of records to show. Not too many, but not too few either. So I'm starting with a couple of CD singles. The interesting here is that when I found these, they were still sealed, and they are from 1992. It's not often I find 30-year-old still sealed record CD singles actually. This is Swedish dance group Clubland, fronted by singer Samia Hamilton. Clubland was actually pretty big in USA. They had several #1 hits at the American dance charts. No one at the ordinary Billboard chart though, if I'm not wrong. But at the dance charts they were pretty big back in 91, 92, 93. This is I'm Under Love Strain from 92. After Camera, also a band I'm always happy to find. This is the single Spanish Horses from 92, when After Camera's career was starting to be a little bit shaky. This contains the normal single song, but also 3 extra live tracks from Ronnie Scott Club in June 1991. So really great to find. This one was also sealed when I found it. Vinyl singles, 3. All 3 I got for nothing. Our record store here, Vinylstallet, had a couple of records that have been standing for a while that they gave out for free. So I took a chance of 2 full lengths for free and 3 vinyl singles for free. Whether I keep them or not, all of them, is another debate, because this one I will most likely not keep. It was a risk take. I'm no huge big Osmond fan, and I think that was cemented here. But I took a chance on Down by the Lazy River, and He's the Light of the World. This 7-inch from 1972, but it wasn't really that interesting. It was a lot rockier than I would expect the Osmonds to be actually. So this one will most likely not stay in the collection. This is a song that I'm no huge fan of, Labelle's Lady Marmalade, or Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir. My French sucks, I know. But I have the album Nightbird, and I grabbed this one because it's from the album, and for the B-side, Space Children, which is a whole lot better than the A-side in my opinion. But I never been a fan of Lady Marmalade either, so but this one will stay for the B-side. This one was surprisingly good. I took a chance on Middle of the Road, Soleil Soleil. Middle of the Road is a band that I don't have that much check on, but I know this annoying, very, very boring, cheap that I think is not that good. But I took a chance on this one, and this one was actually a whole lot better. Soleil Soleil was a great song in their usual go happy, almost gospel hallelujah flower power style. But it was actually a whole lot better produced, and I thought this one was pretty good actually. So this one will stay in my 70s collection. So going to CDs, a couple of CDs that I found yesterday. This is Pulp and a compilation called Hits from 2002. Look at this great hit collection. Common People, Disco 2000, Help the Ages, Nothing Changed. Yeah. We have also Swedish trance DJ Richie M. That I have 2 albums with since before. He's in the vocal trance genre, doing more modern trance style that I think is very cozy to listen to. This is from 2004. I think this is his 3rd album, Singularity, containing the single Ederlessy that I think is really, really great. I can't imagine why this wasn't a bigger hit. Now, jazz. Sue Sims, Down Home. Sue Sims Quartet, released on Affinity. And recorded in July 1960. We have this one that is 2 albums in 1 CD. It is a special orchestras conducted and arranged by Ernie Wilkins, and the album is called Top Brass and Trumpets All Out, which also is the title of the 2 albums that this CD is based on. Ernie Wilkins, arranger, took a whole lot of trumpet players. There are only trumpet players here. It's not a saxophone as you wherever you see. You have Donald Byrd, Idris Suleiman, you have Art Farmer, you have Charlie Shavers, and Shorty Baker in various settings. And bebop style with just trumpets, and among those you also have Hank Jones, you also have Wendell Marshall and so on, Kenny Clark. So this is, from what I understand, an experiment from Ernie Wilkins, and it paid out well. So 2 albums on 1 CD with trumpet jazz. Hard to know what artist I will categorize under. A couple of Stan Kentons. This is Easy Go, released on Capitol. This is a kind of compilation with songs, tracks from 1950 and to 52. And really, really nice. More Stan Kenton. This is a live album from Swedish radio. I think I've shown before another one, in a couple of other ones in this series. I have 2 others. This is Swedish radio that recorded concerts with certain musicians in the 50s, and that in the 90s were reissued, was released on CDs on their own series, Jazz Years. I have one with Benny Goodman, a concert that has been with me since I heard it in radio in the 80s. That is classic. I have one with Woody Herman, and this is another one in the same series with Stan Kenton, also live in Stockholm in the concert hall, 1956. So a really great concert with Stan Kenton's typical little experimental ways. Even though at this time in his career he has more or less started to focus on more traditional big band, but I will assume that he knew what the Swedish for European audience, because he was at the European tour, wanted. So he plays the traditional Stan Kenton style. But this is a great concert, definitely a great concert. And I'm very happy too that Swedish Radio have spared these, and I hope to find more from this series. And what's interesting is, when it comes to this one of the soloists is Maynard Ferguson. Speaking of which, we have a Maynard Ferguson. Maynard Ferguson with Chris Connor, Two's a Company. Now this is a really great album. I know nothing about Chris Connor actually. It's a vocalist that has totally passed me by. I never heard of her actually. But she sings good. She has a mature voice, and at times it goes down in a deeper range. So I like her voice, and Maynard Ferguson Orchestra actually really plays good. Arrangements are fantastic, little outside of the normal big band range at times, but still very groovy. And I really like this album very much. Might be on the chart of the best findings of the year when that time comes in a couple of months. The original, this is of course a CD released from '96, but the original album was recorded in 1960-61. Highly recommended. Choose the Company, Maynard Ferguson and Chris Connor on Roulette. Take this first. Woody Herman's Second Herd, 1948, and this is a couple of live concerts released on CD, from Palladium 1948, from Commodore Hotel 1948, and another one from Commodore Hotel 1948. Woody Herman's Second Herd, he had of course the original herd, the first herd, he had the second herd, he had a third herd, I think he had a fourth herd, and had a thundering herd also. So he has been heard a lot here. But the quick peeks tells that this is actually a really interesting live concert. Nat King Cole Trio, the complete After Midnight Sessions, master takes. These are recordings from at midnight time, when after a concert, I think, where they took their walk to a studio in the middle of the night and blow their horns off in a jam session and record it. So Nat King Cole back in the trio session again after his stint as a vocalist. So really fun to have. I prefer Nat King Cole when he actually is doing his trio than his ordinary entertainment jazz. Now here we have a couple of albums that also I got for free, as with the singles. Here we have the New Seekers and New Colors, also a band like Middle of the Road in this go happy gospel hallelujah style, pop style from the early 70s. This was a risk taker. I don't have anything by New Seekers. I know of their Eurovision song Beg, Steal, Borrow, and that's pretty much it. It wasn't. It has some really good tracks. It definitely has, but it also has some so tracks that wasn't all that interesting. So overall, an okay album, but as it is Culling Times, I'm not sure that this will survive in the collection actually. I may not keep it actually. I'm also happy that I, for free, absolutely nothing, was able to have a Dr. Hook, Belly Up. This is an early Dr. Hook from 1973. A little more rockier Dr. Hook though, but it's extremely fun to have. Bought yesterday Darry Hall and John Oates, Voices, the album that contains the original of Every Time You Go Away, the Paul Young song, the song that he made more famous. But you have also Kisses on my list here. You Lost That Loving Feeling, the cover itself. So really great to find this one from 1980. 70s Soul. The fantastic Shy Lights. And I listened to this one, and it is a good album, definitely. It is an album that is really smooth, it's really funky. Maybe it doesn't stand out that much from other in the same genre. It doesn't have that kind of a hit song like Have You Seen Her or the Shy Lights' more famous songs. But it is a good album. So it definitely will stay in the collection. Jazz vinyls now over the rest. This is Accordion Jazz. Swedish accordion player Eric Frank and the album Accordion Boogie. And Eric Frank had some success in Sweden in the middle of the I think it was 50s or 60s. And these are recordings from 1948 to 51, so it contains a whole lot of famous names from jazz. But the 40s recordings are made in London, in England, so it also contains some British musicians. And I like accordion jazz, so this will be very interesting. We have this one that I bought yesterday, Coleman Hawkins, and another one from Jazz Anthology, Rare Broadcast Areas 1950, which are then radio sessions from 1950, containing Charlie Shavers and trumpet. Great one. And you have Cody Williams, J.C. Higginbottom, Pee Wee Russell. So really interesting. Now going to very early days of jazz. This is Johnny Dodds, clarinetist, and an album called Great Original Performances, 1923 to 29. Johnny Dodds is most famous for, I guess, for being one of the original members of Louis Armstrong's Hot Five. But here he also shows that he did play some other stuff. He plays with the King Oliver Jazz Band. He plays with Jelly Roll Morton's Red Hot Peppers, and he plays with his own trio. He plays with himself and only one other musician also. So very various kinds of recordings here. Normally these tend to be Dixieland that I'm not too fond of, but I am starting to discover early jazz recordings a bit, very much so. It's going to be very interesting. And I do like the Hot Five. And finally, Cody Williams, who were one of Duke Ellington's men. This is an album called Typhoon, and it contains Cody Williams as a big band leader in the 40s. and one session also from 1950. So interesting to find big bands that weren't all that famous actually. No, Duke Ellington is not. Doesn't play here. No. So that was what I found so far. There have been some question in the comments of the videos I made when I showed my new wave synth pop collection. Is that musician? Do you have anything with that? Do you have anything with that? And then I have answered that most likely that those artists are among the normal 80s pop section. So I felt like why not show my collection of 80s pop, that normal 80s pop that I do have. So I will do that at times also. And I also have another package opening also to show. So we have a lot to do in the nearest future here. So until next time, I hope you have a really nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. Take care and so long.